Let's move on to one of the more experienced players in Germany's lineup, Ilkay Gundogan, one of my favorite players, Fabrizio, I'm sure. I mean, he's just watching art out there on the field just because of the way he moves, the way he gets involved, and how he gets involved. I think he will be
one of the best managers in the next 20, 30 years, you know? I think
what makes you say that, though? Why do you think that, Fab?
The vision he has on the pitch is something special. You can see a manager on the pitch, in my opinion. He's not just a player. He's not just scoring goals, providing assists. It's about the leadership, the vision, the feeling he has with Pep Guardiola. I think he's always playing because Pep Guardiola knows that with Gundogan you have a manager on the pitch, not just a fantastic midfielder.
Yeah, outstanding player. I mean, his contract's running out at the end of the season. He's 31 years old now. He's certainly getting to that stage where he's thinking about what's happening after his career. But with so much to offer out there on the pitch, I cannot see Pep Guardiola wanting to give him up. What do you think happens with Gundogan when his contract does expire? Do they get a deal done before then, or does he potentially move back home to Germany?
Honestly, from what I'm told, this summer, during the summer, he had the possibility to go to Barcelona. Barcelona were interested in Ilkay Gundogan at one point of the summer. Then, of course, they signed other players, so it was not possible to complete the deal. But it was one of the possibilities. And at the end, he decided to stay also because together with Pep Guardiola, they have a project. He wants to win the Champions League with Manchester City. So this is why at the end, nothing happened with Barcelona. But Barca were interested in Gundogan. And let's see what happens next summer, because I'm sure that many clubs, including Barcelona and German clubs, will try to tempt Gundogan, maybe also English clubs. But as of now, he knows that Manchester City want to discuss a new contract. So everything is absolutely open. Nothing will be decided now, also because he wants to focus on this season, on the World Cup. And then I think January, February, he will start to think about his future. But many clubs will be there for Gundogan, and Man City will be there to extend his contract. So it's an open situation. But Barcelona have always been around for Gundogan because he's really appreciated.
There are some players you just allow them to do what they want to do. And my feeling about Manchester City Football Group and the way they deal with a player like Gundogan is you just support him. You give him what he needs to be the player that he wants to be, and completely, you know, if he wants to stay, he stays. If he wants to leave, you support his decision to leave because of who he is, what he's done for the club. No doubt about it here. Mary Center Man says Gundo can secure a nice financial package if he runs his contract down. There's no doubt, Fabrizio, there's going to be a lot of offers come in for Gundo. However, he's a loyal person. And like you said, he's a guy that Pep Guardiola completely trusts. Let's turn our attention to Bayern Munich. I have to talk about Bayern because there's 7 Bayern Munich players involved in Germany's lineup going into the squad tonight. And there's been a lot of issues and a lot of media attention about Julian Nagelsmann. And I saw you tweeting about it, so I thought I'd pick up on it. It seems to me like Bayern Munich and Hasan Salihamidzic wants to support Julian Nagelsmann. Is that the case? Do they support him through this difficult time right now?
Yes. And it's not just Hasan Salihamidzic, but it's the same with Oliver Kahn, with the president. So all the people into the club, they want to support Nagelsmann. They want to try to protect Nagelsmann. It's not an easy situation, honestly, because in Bundesliga, they are struggling. You can see that the team is not performing at the best level. But at the same point, in Champions League, in a really complicated group with Inter, with Viktoria Pilsen, and of course, Barcelona, they have 6 points. And so this is something impressive. So this is why it's not an easy situation to understand why in Europe you're performing. They're doing great. Very good game with Barcelona. Fantastic game in San Siro with Inter, and then in Bundesliga it seems that the team is too quiet. But they want to protect the manager. They paid an important fee for Julian Nagelsmann. It was more than 50 million euros to sign him from as an important player from Leipzig, and of course he had a release clause. But also the salary is about the project for present and future. They signed players he wanted, like Matthijs de Ligt, and so it's about protecting the manager but protecting the world project around Julian Nagelsmann. And this is why at the moment they have no intention to change. Of course, they're expecting a big change on the pitch in Bundesliga because they know how important it is now for them to be back on track, to be back at Bayern level. And so they're expecting a big reaction after the international break, but they want to protect the manager. They want to continue with Nagelsmann.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Bayern Munich. They come back and they play Leverkusen this weekend, which is not an easy one because Leverkusen have struggled to start this Bundesliga campaign. And I like to see that from Bayern, sticking by their coach now because maybe of the money that they spent. It's a reason behind protecting him, but he's a young coach. He's a very good coach. And I think at some point you're going to see the best of a Julian Nagelsmann. However, he's being tested right now. This is the worst start for Bayern Munich in the last 12 years in the Bundesliga. 3 draws and 1 defeat in their last 4 games. Not good going, but you can clearly clearly see, Fabrizio, that goal scoring has been a problem for Bayern Munich. You take Lewandowski away from this team, and there's always going to be question marks. Now, I have this crazy thought in my mind. This is the last question I'm going to throw at you because I know you're a busy man. But I've got this crazy thought in my mind. I have actually seen you tweet about this, and there's a lot of people in Germany talking about this. What's the potential of a Harry Kane going to a club like Bayern Munich? People say I'm crazy. Am I crazy?
At the moment, no. I would say no, because it's true that Bayern Munich internally, they are dreaming of Harry Kane. We can say that they are dreaming of Harry Kane because from what I'm told, they consider Harry Kane the perfect striker for Bayern style, for Bayern approach, for Bayern strategy, kind of player, also the image of Harry Kane. They consider he could be absolutely perfect for Bayern. There is a small problem, a big problem, and it's called Tottenham, because Daniel Levy and the whole structure at Tottenham, it's about the manager, Antonio Conte, it's about Fabio Paratici, director. They have Harry Kane, and they never had any conversation with Bayern or any other club in the last year after Manchester City story or Manchester City saga in summer 2021. They never had any other conversation with clubs for Harry Kane. They want to extend the contract of Harry Kane, and everything has changed at Tottenham. We're used to see Harry Kane maybe not so happy with Tottenham project 1 year ago, 2 years ago, because they were not in Champions League. With the managers, the feeling was not great after Pochettino. But now with Antonio Conte, he has a fantastic relationship. With Paratici, the director, he knows that they're trying their best to extend this contract. So at the moment, Tottenham are planning with Harry Kane as part of the present and the future. If there will be some problems on the contract discussions between Kane and Tottenham, Bayern are prepared to try for him next summer. But at the moment, it's not a conversation with Tottenham or a conversation with the player. It's just a dream internally at Bayern. And as of now, nothing else. We will see.
Yeah, I find it very fascinating. Thanks for sharing that information as well, because I actually think that this is a realistic possibility. People think I'm crazy that someone would want to leave the Premier League and go to the Bundesliga, but it is Bayern Munich. It is Champions League opportunity of lifting a trophy. And also for Harry Kane, it's an opportunity to lift domestic trophies as well.